Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Magicshine Seemee 100AD hybrid bike radar taillight. The new Magicshine Seemee 100AD is one of the first hybrid bike taillight radars we've seen on the market and replaces detection range for a compact form factor. What makes this a hybrid bike radar is the fact that it does not transmit any radar information to your GPS to show which cars, how far they are from you. Instead, it only uses the radar information to change the taillight mode so that cars behind you know that you're there. So it's a really clever idea, results in a much smaller form factor, and you get the great LED design for Magicshine. Packaging-wise, very simple. You have the black and orange packaging we're used to seeing with other products. There's great glossy representation of the taillight and that little smiley face on it, and then basic specs printed on the back side. I'll go ahead and open this up, and we'll go over those specs. So retail price on this is $54.99, so quite a bit cheaper than traditional radars. It has 100 lumen output, so fairly bright. And you have a 25-meter detection range, so a lot less than the 125 from a normal, larger radar. You get the FTR LightSync control, which means you can pair this with a compatible headlight and wireless remote to control it from one place, so you don't have to turn on your headlight and taillight on separately. It also has USB Type-C charging, so nice modern interface, lets you charge it anywhere, and you have dual focused LEDs along with a cob ring, so great visibility. As far as what comes with it, you get the taillight, very compact, seat post mount with the little offset to account for the angle of your seat post, a short USB Type-C charging cable, a saddle mount, so this will clip on your saddle rail, has that same little miniaturized Garmin mount, and a lock into place for a very clean setup, as well as the zip ties, which you can use on these to secure it to your saddle just in case. Now let's take a look at the weight of the taillight. So the 180 by itself is 40 grams, and the simple seat post mount, that is 13. Visually, the Magicshine Seemee 100AD has a compact rectangular profile with a protruding lens. The taillight has a dual LED lens on the top with these really focused ones, a big radar surface on the bottom, and this U-shaped cob ring. While most bike radars have a 125-meter detection range and notifications sent to your GPS computer, with the 100AD it's only 25 meters, which is why this radar surface is quite a bit smaller than a standard radar, and the whole profile is quite a bit more compact. It also won't notify your GPS. It simply changes the taillight mode if it detects a vehicle. As with the other Magicshine taillights, it's Altezza design, so you can see it's clear until you turn it on, and then you can see this cool red design. Also, it's hard to ignore the fact that you have a nice smiley face, so it's one of the happiest taillights we've reviewed. The two LEDs on top are the eyes. You have the nose with these black concentric rings, and then the three arcs on the bottom for the smiley face. I'm not sure what these rings do, but it's pretty obvious Magicshine did this on purpose, as it really has a nice smiley face appearance, and even when it's on, you can still see that smiley face. Branding on here is limited to Magicshine logo, so you can see on the top here, it's kind of ghosted on, so when the light hits it, then you have Seemee 100AD printed on the side. I'm guessing the AD is automatic detection, and then the 100 obviously indicates 100 lumen. You have two buttons too. You have a power button on one side, and then a separate radar control on the other. And then to charge this, you can see you have the USB-C charging port hidden underneath right at the center of the mount, which is kind of cool. So it's concealed, and a nice little rubber gasket on top to keep the water out. Mounting on this is the same as all the other Magicshine lights, the 100, 150, 200, 300. It's a miniaturized Garmin mount, so same Garmin design. So you have these two protruding tabs. Then it goes to a matching slot on the mount, and then a quarter turn to lock into place, so very secure. This is all miniaturized compared to a standard Garmin, so it's about half the size to fit the smaller body. It's pretty lightweight as well, so you can see the mount itself is very basic. It just has to support the lightweight of the taillight. It has an angled rubber pad on the back, so it offsets it so it sits up more parallel with the road. Plastic construction. You can see this rubber strap design, and that simply goes over the hook and then locks in place. So very simple, and with the Garmin design, it's really easy to take this on and off your bike. So if you're a commuter, You just pop it off, leave the mount on your bike. It's not worth very much. The coolest thing about this light is that Magicshine has really thrown all their technology at the lens. You have two focused LEDs, so you can see right at the top. You have this cool U shape here, and if you get the angle just right, you'll actually see there's grooves cut in here. So the cob LED ring behind the bottom actually gets reflected on those little slots, so it gives this really cool effect. So you can see, even from side angles, it's all illuminated, and you have great side visibility as the whole thing is lit up. You have long distance visibility with those two centered ones, so you can see that really projects the light further down. And then this cob LED just gives you a nice uniform glow around you, so you're visible from almost any angle. Very unique design as well, with a smaller radar surface in the middle. You also have a very simple user interface, so two buttons. It's a little bit confusing at first, but you have a power button on the right side. Holding that will turn the light on and off. You have the Magicshine battery checker, so if you do one click, you can see a really nice LED illumination there. So this will be either green, red, or flashing red to indicate the battery status. The other side, you have another button. So this button, you might accidentally press it and you realize it won't do anything. What it does is it adjusts the radar. So you see when it's on, you have the blue light. If I press it, it'll turn off the radar functionality. So if you want longer, more consistent run times, you can turn off the radar. So if you're riding somewhere more rural, you don't want it to adjust to cars behind you, you can turn it off, which is nice. It's automatically on every time you turn on the light as a safety feature. So if you do want it off, you just have to remember to turn it off. And you do have a nice blue indicator to show that. You have a simple one-level menu. So you can see I can single press between the constant modes. Then you have a nice pulsing flash, nice daytime flash. So you can see very bright, that illuminates everything together. And then a more eco flash. And then it just cycles again. Press it again, or hold it to turn it off. There's also a lockout mode, so if I hold it for a little bit longer, it's hard to see the LED, but it'll be locked out and you'll get this red light. So when it's first shipped to you, it might end up like this, and all you do is hold it again to turn it off. So that's great if you're transporting it, you have it in your backpack, won't accidentally turn on. So again, you hold it, you can't actually see the LED, but if you do it long enough, this should go back green. The other thing I want to show was the FTR technology. So this is the light syncing technology. So if you have the headlight, a compatible headlight like the LT1200, they will come with a remote. You can follow the very simple instructions to pair them. You just turn the lights on, enter the pairing mode. And then if I do a long hold on the power button, you can see I've already paired these. They'll turn on together. So very cool. It will control the headlight mode. So if I toggle it, that'll do that. If I want to switch the mode on the taillight, I still have to control it independently. But then when I want to shut everything off, I just hold the power button and I don't have to go press them separately. So a really cool feature that makes it a lot more integrated with a single button power on and off. Now let's take a look at the output modes. There's two constant modes, a low and high. That illuminates the cob LED and the constant ones, with the high one giving you 3.5 hour runtime. Then there's a night flash, which pulses between 12 and 30 lumens, and then day flash, which gives you the full 0 to 100 lumens. For the more economical choice, you have eco flash, which gives you 18 hours of runtime, and then the alert mode, which goes from 30 to 100 for high visibility. Here you can see some riding footage, and you can see I'm in the daytime visibility mode. And then when a vehicle is detected, you can see it switches to this high flash mode. So it's very bright with the 30 to 100 lumen mode, but you can see it actually stays on there quite often. So if you have multiple vehicles, it stays on. It would have been nice if there was a timeout like traditional radars. They typically show on and then they turn off after 5 or 10 seconds. Here it is with the radar feature off, just to get a little bit better runtime. And you can see daytime flash is nice and bright, so you can definitely see it from longer distances. So I really appreciated that. And it's a really nice taillight. It really brings all the LED designs of the Seemee 300 without the downward facing LED, and a very cool concept. Although we would recommend turning off the radar in higher density areas just to extend the runtime. Otherwise, the light's easy to use. The buttons are a little bit confusing. We always found ourselves trying to turn on the light with the radar button. It would have been nice if they had different sizes, but otherwise very easy to use, and again, very bright. As you can see here, we have most of the Magicshine Seemee lineup. This is the Seemee 50. It also is the updated model, so it has the FTR technology, so you can connect with the wireless remote and control it from one place. You can see the 50 is much more narrow, but it does have this cool raised effect that we see with the 100 AD as well. So it's really cool that they've combined a lot of the features and really has a unique illumination pattern. So just like this, it reflects on the top thanks to those grooves and makes it visible from almost any angle. You can see it's also an Altezza design, so with all the Magicshine Seemee lights, they're transparent until you turn them on. There also is the 150 here. So you can see single LED in the middle with that same ring. So with the 100 AD, they've simply taken the same concept but rearranged it a bit. We also have the 200 and then the 300, which is even bigger. So with both of these, you actually get their OptiTrace LED. So there's an LED on the bottom. And when I turn this on, you can see it illuminates underneath. So with the 100 AD, it seems like they've really copied a lot of design elements from the 300, but just added the radar effect. So you can see this has two LEDs, but they've been rearranged for the 100 AD, and it has this giant outline, and with this one's just a U shape. So quite cool, and it's really nice to see them really advance the design. You can see these all actually have the same mounting design, except for the 50, which has a more compact hook design. These all have the same Garmin quarter turn style. That's just miniaturized, obviously, to fit this. The cool thing about the 100 AD is you get the radar, but you don't get the radar notifications, and you don't have to have that big size to get that longer range detection. So you can see here we have the iGPSPORT radar. It's almost half the size, but you do obviously sacrifice range, but it's really cool to have this hybrid. We have the Trek CarBack radar, and you can see much smaller, so you still get the kind of benefits of a radar. You just don't get the notifications, but a lot smaller and more compact. And even the Magicshine / Magicshine version, their Seemee 508, you can see, again, almost half the size, thinner, and a lot more neat and tidy. There's also other lights on the market. We have the 450 Helix Sense from Moon Sport. So super bright. Use more of this cob LED design. So you can see these rings around there. And very bright flash modes. But the nice thing about the Magicshine is you do have those focus LEDs, so nice visibility from longer distances. This is a Bontrager Flare RT, much more compact, but obviously don't get the radar design. And then the cool thing about the KNOG is that they have a lot of cool effects. This is the Traffic Blinder V. So you can see just cob LED, so less visibility from further distances, but pretty cool patterns that you don't get with the Magicshine model. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Magicshine Seemee 100 AD. What we like about it is you have a compact form factor and a really nice LED design, so they're really visible. It also has a very clever hybrid taillight radar concept, so you get a high visibility flash when the vehicle is detected, but still you get that small form factor taillight, unlike a more traditional radar. The main negatives for this taillight radar is the fact you do have confusing buttons. There's two buttons, one on each side. One for the radar on-off and the one for the power, and they're easy to confuse with each other. It would have been nice if they had different shapes or a bright coloring. Also, the high visibility flash pattern can really drain the battery in traffic. It doesn't turn off until there's no vehicle, so if you're in a big traffic area, it can just stay in that mode and really reduce the runtime. Taking everything into account, would give the 100 AD a 9.3 out of 10. It's a very clever hybrid radar taillight concept that brings together Magishine's excellent LED design and the bike radar technology. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.